I thought that I was making it up. I was like, ain't no way.
The monkey's off my back and daddy's home.
I don't really know why I said that. It kind of just came out of me. It just felt right.
Daddy's home. Iggy had a stellar weekend.
The monkey's off my back and daddy's home. Just so you know, Big Papa Jimmy.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Big Poppa.
My man. Guys, this is something you guys have to know. The PPA finals, you don't pick your partner for the mixed. It goes based on your mixed ranking. Ben, Anna Lee. Guess who's number 2 in mixed on the men's side? Riley Newman. Number 2 in mixed on the women's side, Anna Wright. Number 3, me. Number 3, Catherine. So we might run it back. We might run it back. Okay, we got Adam Stone on the podcast, ready to carry me one more time before I take over. Now, it's a show now.
James, that's what I do. That's what I do. I take over, I carry, always have, always will. That's just part of it. So, James, we got to talk about it. We have to. Tell me about that swollen ankle. How we looking? What colors is it? How's rehab going? Tell me all about it.
Way better than I thought it would. I think it's because, I'm doing rehab like every day, doing all the right things. And it's been, like almost 2 weeks? What are we at, Thursday? So I was told it would take longer, but I'm able to like dink. Like I'm not playing games, but I'm able to, stationary dink. I'm getting out there, hitting drops, hitting serves, because I can't really like not get out there, because if I don't play pickleball, I'm gonna lose my mind. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I think it's by nationals, or what's the next one? MLP?
MLP, yes.
But yeah, I'll be good. I'll be good for MLP, I would say.
And what variety? Do we have any variety of colors, like some dark greens and purples and blues? What kind of colors are we dealing with down there?
Not anymore. We're just looking at like some red, some white.
Okay. Perfect. Well, the perfect situation is, James, is that being stationary is the stuff you need to work on anyway. You can go out there and hit thirds and hit midcourt and just rock it, and that's what you need.
I know. That's all I'm really doing. Lifting a lot, trying to gain some weight. I'm trying to I'm in like the bulking phase of my life right now. Going into the winter, you don't really need the cardio as much. So I've just been I'm bulking. I might stallion performance. We'll
it's like building for hibernation. You're just not going to hibernate. Kind of like that. Yeah. Okay, good. But yeah, a little quick house cleaning. So we have an amateur only tournament in Hilton Head this upcoming weekend for PPA. And then just like you said, we have the combo MLP PPA back-to-back at Brookhaven Country Club in Dallas in 2 weeks starting. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Lots of renovations and stuff that I'm seeing on the interwebs, and it's looking like it's going to be pretty sweet. And you think you're going to be ready to rock for both of those, correct?
I think so. And one of the reasons I'm taking rehab so seriously is because I'm playing split age with Althoff. And by the way, for the people who aren't aware of the split age roster, Dane Gingrich is playing with Riley Newman. So that's going to be, me and Althoff versus Dane and Riley. That might be my favorite match of the year.
Yeah, it should be cool, calm, and collected. Not a lot of chirping. Just 4 robots out there just going through the motions is what I expect.
I'm going to talk so much trash to Dane. Like, this is not the NPL, Dane. I'm going on.
Well, hey, I got to shout out MPL, Rich Thunder Lopez with the dive. Did you see the dive? Anyway, you probably didn't. Rich Thunder Lopez, senior pro, he dove on match point to get a let court and win the point. Wanted to give him a shout out. We heart seniors here on this podcast, so we just wanted to give a shout out.
Dude, men's senior pro doubles is like, it's an electric event. I love men's senior pro doubles. Like, some of the classic matchups of last year, like when Dane and Dave couldn't lose, they would wear red together. Like I was all in on that stuff. So
yeah. Well, I did already mention the robots once, and you will not see that in senior pro. And some people are all about that showmanship and fire that you see on court. And hey, I'm here for it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so James, I wanted to talk a little bit about some prospects here. I'm commentating the matches. I'm going through the box scores, all the good stuff. I got a couple names here on the men's side from the PPA who maybe haven't necessarily had that huge win, but are very, very close score wise with a lot of the good teams. And I wanted to ask you what you think about a couple of these players. So first off, I am going to say Patrick Kauka. Do you know anything about Patrick Kauka?
This is not a good look for this podcast because I have never seen that guy play.
Patrick Kauka, you've never seen him play.
mean,
And I haven't either. I just see his reasonable results. I hear a couple people chirping about how he has talent, and 0 for 1.
I've heard great things. Not remembering where I heard them from, but I haven't seen him play.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not
Let's
good.
move on to number 2 here, James.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts on Al Hooney? Do you know who Al Hooney is?
No,
You don't.
I have no
Oh my God, James. This is I don't know if this is really, really good or bad. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, here's my I have one more, and I think this could possibly be a strikeout 0 for 3. I don't know how you say his last name, Augustus G.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
Augustus G.
I know.
Okay, so I saw him have some very close scores with some very quality teams, and then this past tournament, he actually took out Jay DeVilliers and Callan Dawson in round 1 with Craig Johnson. Do you know anything about his game? Let's talk.
Yes, I do. So there was a lot of people that watched that match. He's a lefty. He's pretty aggressive, but he can dink. I like his game. I mean, against Jay and Callan, he was on the right, obviously he's a lefty.
Mm-hmm.
Jay was on the left. And like Anna was watching, she was telling me how like Augustus was having a ton of success attacking Jay, supposedly. And Augustus was like, he seems to have some pretty fast hands. I watched Augustus play with, I think, Michael Lloyd against William Sobek and Martin Emmerich.
Okay.
At the APP, they played on center. And the reason I watched is because me and Matt thought that we would play that team first round because they were coming out of the qualies of the PPA. I think they were like, we thought it'd be them because they were qualifier number 5. Whatever. We didn't end up playing him, but I watched him and I thought he looked good. I think he, the game needs more lefties. Obviously, there's not a lot of lefties for whatever reason. And I think he's got good hands. He's got like a 2-handed backhand dink, which is, I'm all for those. And yeah, so 1 for 3.
Yeah, 1 for 3.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, we'll take it. We'll take it. Hey, you bat 333 in baseball, you're doing all right. So nothing wrong with that. And I agree with the lefty situation. There just should be more, and there will be eventually. And then also we have Lohani, who made a nice run in singles. He ended up playing Ben. Do you know anything? And of course, we love singles, great display of athleticism, all for it, but I'm more of the doubles guy. Do you see a possible transition over, or do you know anything about his doubles game?
Well, he's been playing doubles at a pretty high level for some time. He played with him and, he played at Beer City last year. He had a big run with Amrik Donkina.
Correct. I actually believe he beat me. I came back for a couple tournaments after the calf, and I played with Sobek. Yeah. And they actually ended up beating DJ Young and Thomas Wilson that tournament as well. And then it seemed like they cooled off a bit. So that's kind of why I was asking, as we obviously see him pop up in a big way on Championship Sunday.
Yeah, well, that speaks to a couple things. I mean, it's funny because singles that just shows how random singles is. Anything can happen. Like the quality of men's singles is so high. There's so many guys that are so good that, like, it's funny. The only guys who you see on Championship Sunday really consistently are Ben, Federico, and that's, Tyson. But outside of that, it's like there's not a lot of consistency. It's just so difficult. But from what I remember about Lohani, he's got good hands. He had a lot of power. He's using a Babolat paddle, I
Oh
think,
my.
back when I had watched him play. So I was a little confused by that. But I thought he had a lot of potential. I thought Don Kina had a lot of potential too. I mean, they were hitting the crap out of the ball. And yeah, against Thomas and DJ, just ripping every single ball. It was the funniest thing that but it's tough. I haven't seen him play since then. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's, if I'm 1 for 4, if I'm like kind of
Mm.
1.5.
Yeah, what 1.5 for 4, and I'll say for you, James, that's pretty good. We're gonna roll with that for sure.
Okay,
And it's yeah, it's I really love players coming up. I love prospects. I love talking about it. All that good stuff. We know that prospect growth is not linear. You have those players that just blow up, and then you have the ones where it's kind of a roller coaster ride to get to that higher level. Do you think now that we've reached a bit of a higher level overall in the last 6 to 9 months that kind of getting into the game is going to be any different than it has been in years past?
I think it'll be more difficult because like we see how much better the game has got in the last 6 months or 9 months, but in the next year, it's going to get way better because people are getting paid now. So, players are playing full time. That's a pretty big deal. Like I think if you look at 2 years ago, out of the top, whatever it was, 40 players, how many of those guys were actually full time? I
Yeah.
don't know, but it's not high.
10 or 12 maybe. Yeah, right, totally.
So now everybody's full time, maybe teaching some clinics or whatever. Almost everybody's full time. That's going to change things. I think people are going to get a lot better quickly this year, and it's going to make it tougher to come in. But I also think that's good because it gives pros job security. Like I think if in a year or two, when you know that nobody's going to come in and within a year just beat you, then you feel pretty comfortable. Like, okay, I'm a little safe here. But when I came in, it was so much easier. I've been playing for 2 years and I've been playing pro for about a year and a half. And it took me maybe 6 months to really be like like a good pro, which I mean, there's an argument that that's not actually a good look for a professional sport.
Yes. I agree. And we can see with some of the size of the qualifying draws. And it was pretty dang recent that you could just get into a pro draw. And that now there's kind of stepping stones. Some people would talk about the APP kind of being that league to test it out and then move up a level. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see kind of the progression because it really has caught fire with the number of players and talent in the last 6 months.
And in singles, it's always going to be,
Yeah.
I think,
Oh yeah.
take 2 months. I really think that like a really good tennis player, if they like pickleball, you could play for 3 months and be competing right there near the top. Like that's how easy the transition is with singles. But like the other ones, men's doubles, I don't know, 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. So, I mean, Colin Schick lives up close to me. He's got a brother who's pretty dang good at singles and tennis in general. And you can just see it. Sure, he misses a random ball. Sure, he doesn't quite know what he's doing, but you just have those every fifth point or so where you can see the electricity and the athleticism and the skill. And man, they're just going to keep coming. They just really are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, also I have some notes down here about just, we also like to talk about this, just the type of players, and we have some higher floor, more consistent players. Maybe I would lump myself into that category. And then we have the less consistent, more firepower players. And maybe we could even put you into that category, James, even though you're working on that consistency, not only with play, with results. And I was just, we see these runs, and we talked about in singles, we'll randomly have a player that jumps in there, but in doubles also, do you think that having that high risk, high reward game lends it to making deeper runs occasionally and having earlier exits in tournaments?
That's a good question. I think, if we're talking just men's doubles?
Yeah, let's stick with men's. Yes.
Okay. I think it's so subjective. It's so matchup dependent. It's tough to say. I I think that you see a lot of players that are like consistent by nature, that don't have a lot of firepower, that can make some pretty deep runs. Maybe we'll lose first round. I think it's maybe less related to the game style of the player. Like, are they super aggressive and maybe making more mistakes, or are they consistent and not making as many mistakes? I think it's less related to that. And I think it's more related to like the mental toughness of the player, just how mentally consistent they are. Because I think, there's a difference between being like a player that's really super consistent and doesn't have a lot of firepower versus being somebody like maybe me, but I think I'm pretty mentally consistent. So it's tough. I think that's more what it is. I think how mentally consistent can you be, because you're going to be playing on a backcourt at 11:30. You have to actually, always be there. You can't just take a match off. There's no back draw anymore. So I would say.
And I think also when your skill set is volatile, I think that mental aspect, like you said, could be even more important, because you're just going to have a match or a stretch in a match that is not going your way, and it's easy to kind of lay off and just disappear, basically. So I just wanted to ask that question, because I have some names down here as well, just some of those, Julian Arnold, AJ Kohler types. We even saw a nice run in the APP recently from Andre Mick. Brendan Long a handful of months ago had a great run, and then it's just really up and down. So just wanted to catch your thoughts on that consistent player, more volatile player, and kind of how it all shakes out. Because I think we're probably two good examples of either or.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think it definitely that's what separates the really good players from the pretty good ones. I mean, like, anybody can get hot and have like a really good tournament, but if you can get to the podium every single weekend, yeah, I think that's probably the right politically correct answer that I can give you.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree with that. So a nice run is a nice run. I'm not taking anything away from anybody, but I would rather have 3 or 4 or 5 semifinals as opposed to maybe one championship Sunday. And I think some people might disagree with that statement, but I think for me, I would be more impressed with a player that can be more consistent with the results than just be a one-hit wonder.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So that's relatively all I have there. Not talking business or getting into some of the big fireworks with the merger, as we're gonna let some of the other folks take care of that stuff. I do have one or two more 1 to 10 scale questions for you, James.
Okay.
1 to 10, how heavy would you say your man crush is on Tyson?
It's tough, because I would say it's got to be above 7. It's definitely it's really, I watch us play. I don't really notice it in the moment. Like, when I play with him, it doesn't really feel like that. But then I watch it back and it's just so hype. It's weird, because I'm sort of developing a new man crush on somebody who not too many people probably have a crush on. That's Matt Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just like playing with both of them it's just so electric. Like, they both just want it so bad. And it's just, those are probably the 2 most hyped doubles partners I could possibly ask for. Like, can you think of another guy in the top 10 that's like you'd rather play with outside of those 2? I can't think of.
It's a perfect, you did, what a great answer, James. I had Matt listed next and you just jumped right into it. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And the thing is, Matt is the perfect example of decent teammate, not good opponent. You don't want to be facing him, but when he's on your team, you kind of develop a little warmth or just some kind of camaraderie with him. And when he's across the net, you kind of want to smack him around a little bit. So I think that makes a lot of sense, but they're both above 7. I know that much.
Well, here's the funny thing about it is so people might not know this who don't go to these tournaments, but I don't really talk to anybody at these tournaments. I kind of just like sit in a corner. I'm known for that. Like, I'll just sit in a corner. I never really go in the pro lounge. I kind of just do my own thing and just go on my phone. And I don't have too much camaraderie with. I mean, I like almost everybody, but like nobody I'm super tight with really. One of my best friends on tour is actually Matt. Like even before we were playing, like we it's almost weird. Anna's like, why are you like texting Matt so much? I'm like, I don't know. Matt's cool. Like Matt's one of my like closest friends on the tour, which is so random because he's twice my age. Nobody would expect it. But yeah, I'm really tight with Matt. So I think we have good camaraderie. And I'm not just saying that because we're playing next year together. So
Yeah, so Matt's fun to talk to. I mean, I told you, I believe a previous episode, I said he's a 6-0 cocktail guy. Like he goes to a cocktail party, you can talk to him about anything. You want to talk to him about pickleball, that's great. You can talk business, you can talk this, you can talk that. So I don't think it's shocking, even though maybe some people would guess that it's shocking. And my last 1 to 10 here, we had James. You had a nice run with some mixed doubles with Catherine Parento. Ended up beating Anna Bright on a scale of 1 to 10. How much happier are you playing with Anna Bright over Catherine Parento?
10.
10. My man.
Yeah, guys, this is something you guys have to know. The PPA finals, you don't pick your partner for the mixed. It goes based on your mixed ranking. Ben, Anna Lee. Guess who's number 2 in mixed on the men's side? Riley Newman. Number 2 in mixed on the women's side, Anna Bright. Number 3, me. Number 3, Catherine. So we might run it back. We might run it back.
We'll
electric.
yes.
I talk about it, I'm like, wow, that's gonna be like so fun. And then Anna's like, that's not gonna be fun.
Yeah. It's hilarious how that works too. Cause I like playing Corinne. And she does not like playing me. I don't know if it's a guy thing, girl thing, or just those specific situations, but I'm kind of with you. I enjoy it. I know all her tricks. I know what she's gonna do. I'm trying to light her up, you know?
It's more
Even though even if she does let me use her Zoom, as you can see right here, I'm still trying to light her up when we play. That's clear.
Oh yeah. Full bag. White paddle. Actually, I might go red paddle against Anna. It'd be nice.
Red paddle, yeah. No, that's good. Okay, fair enough. Well, good. We had a little hiccup there in the middle, and we just ended strong with those 1 out of 10 scales and electric answers. Deep thought as always from you, Mr. Ignatowich, not Ignatowich. Until next time, sir, get that ankle situated, and let's get you back out on the court, eh?
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Adam. This is again way easier than when I have to do this. Thank you.